What's next for Deontay Wilder? Well, we're going to talk about that today. Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk boxing. So, the big question I have now, after watching the fight, after my last video of Tyson Fury's talk of retirement now coming, what is next for Deontay Wilder? You know, the big question. I gotta say, of both fighters, the one who came out from the beginning and showed a real change in technique and everything, and just overall boxing ability was Deontay Wilder. This guy showed a lot of himself during this fight. And don't get me wrong, not all was great. Not at the end of the fight, that is. But sitting there and watching how this guy wanted to implement all the new techniques and this new set of skill that he claimed to have had during the lead up to this fight, I was very eager to see it once it came around, and I gotta say, he didn't disappoint with what he presented for us. That man has, in my mind, shown he still got it. He ain't washed up. Before this fight, before the third fight in their trilogy, to me it seemed that Wilder was just too one-dimensional. I expected him to just immediately go back to instinct, stick to that right hand. He would have nothing in his arsenal. I was expecting a very basic fight. I was expecting Fury to come in and just take him out, but you know what? He showed Saturday night that he can still bang. He could still fight. He showed he's number 2 in the world in the heavyweight division right now. And I have to say, I'm very excited to see what will happen next. Because one of two ways this can go down, and I'll be happy either way. The short route is that he could retire right now. And I wouldn't be upset in the sense of respect. He showed that, he came to fight. He showed that he was ready to go out on his shield no matter what. He wasn't going to stay down. He was ready for it all. He was ready to leave it all in the ring and die if that's what it took. And it showed us that, you know what? He is the number 2 heavyweight. Because at the same time, who else could have knocked down Tyson Fury twice in the heavyweight division right now besides Deontay Wilder? You can say what you want. You can make claims of Joshua could do it, Usyk could do it somehow. Say what you want. And right at this point, I don't think anybody else could have done to Tyson Fury what Deontay Wilder did. Now, taking that loss, getting KO'd in the 11th round, I gotta say, he was upset. He wasn't too happy with the decision of stopping the fight. He was upset that he lost in general. He was anticipating a huge comeback victory to show everybody that he's still number 1. And things didn't go the way he planned, obviously. Now, what this fight showed me was he can still take on the other heavyweights in the division. He can still be champion. I'll be honest, he's hands down number 2 in the heavyweight division. These guys showed Saturday night that they are levels above the other guys in the division. There is nobody else that can beat these 2 men in the division right now. I can't see it. In the top 5 heavyweight rankings right now, Tyson Fury's number 1. Wilder's number 2. You can say Usyk is number 3 because he beat Joshua. I won't disagree. You can even say Joshua's number 4 or 5. You could put Dillian White up there as number 5. You could put Andrew Ruiz at number 5. Whatever your personal ranking is. But no matter how you stir it, nobody is beating those 2 guys. It can't happen. That's why in my last video I was saying if Tyson Fury were to retire, I wouldn't be upset because you know what? He's at the pinnacle of the sport. Nobody can beat him. He's got nothing to prove. I don't give a crap about unification or title defenses. It don't matter. he showed that he's number one in the world, and nobody stands up to him. Nobody. Wilder, on the other hand, he's shown a very similar thing. He's shown that he's number two in the world. That no matter how many times you put him down, he's going to get back up. Something that a lot of fighters struggle with from the beginning of boxing to today. And if anything, it shows that in today it's a much harder thing to do, to get up from being knocked down like that, taking that punishment. To be honest, I'll tell you, putting anybody else in that fight with Fury the way that he was fighting, nobody else could have taken those knockdowns the same. Nobody could have gotten back up the same. Not as good as Wilder did. He was down and got right back up. Every time. That guy did not sit on the canvas. He didn't even take a second to process what was happening. He fell down, got right back up. I gotta say, with Wilder's career, I think this just opens up so many fight opportunities. From retirement, yes, can totally happen. All but respect. Nothing bad about it. But regarding his career, if it were to continue, I could see him continuing on. I could see him fighting the winner of Usyk and Joshua. I could see him fighting Dillian White just as a comeback fight to warm up to the winner of those two if Tyson Fury ain't fighting no more and he don't want to fight them. But even then, I feel like same thing with Tyson Fury and Wilder. These two are the top of the game right now. They've been at the top. They are the top of the heavyweight division. I feel like at most, both men should fight 2-3 more times in their careers and call it a day. I think Tyson Fury should retire now. Retire while he's at the pinnacle. There's nothing left to prove. For Wilder, if he wants to show he's top dog after Fury's gone, go right ahead. I say again, fight Dillian White. Shut that down already. I'm so sick of hearing about Dillian White and how he'll knock out Wilder, he'll knock out Joshua, he'll knock out Fury. I'm sick of it. The guy got knocked out cold by Povetkin in their rematch. Alright, and don't get me wrong, he beat Povetkin in the first one, yes. He got knocked out cold by Povetkin in the second one. And Povetkin is a very strong opponent, but Povetkin was beaten by Joshua. I think it was TKO. If I remember correctly, I don't recall, I think he had fought Wilder and received a KO as well, or a TKO. I don't fully remember at the moment, but no matter what, he lost to two men who he's calling out, saying he'll knock them out, when the guy who beat him got beat by them. It's a hierarchy here. I know styles make fights. Dillian White's capabilities don't line up with these guys. So if Wilder wants to shut that down, finally knock his ass out, please do, go right ahead. Nothing to say about it. If he wants to fight the winner of Joshua Usyk, please do it. Take those belts, retire as champ. If he wants to defend them in a rematch for those belts, retire. At this point, both men showed they're the top dogs of the game. They got nothing to show for it, nothing to prove. I mean, they have all to show for it, all respect, nothing to prove. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Wilder should retire, like the same as I think Fury should? Or do you think both men should continue and fight 2 or 3 more times and then retire? Try to go for those belts, try to get a unification. What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one.